Hope you guys are fit and ready.
The Racer is about Dom Chabal, he's a cyclist, he's a pro cyclist, and you know, we're aiming for making a film around the Tour de France of 1998, fictionally of course.
Hey Chabal, I hear this is your last tour.
It basically concentrates on a domestique, a support rider within a particular team.
Come on.
My interest in the film isn't necessarily because of cycling. What I was interested in was that the fact that the film portrayed a domestique, a support rider, somebody who never wins, is not allowed to win. He's there to support the winner. Doesn't get much glory, doesn't necessarily get much money, but just gets a lot of respect from within the world of cycling. And I thought it was quite a sacrificial role and something that I'd never come across before.
Viking. Viking. I need to know about next year, my contract.
Yeah. Let's just see how you get on this year.
He's in a place where he loves to be, but also doesn't want to be. So he's riding the Tour de France. He's doing what he loves. He's been doing this for his whole life, but also he's nearing a point of his career that it's about a new contract, and he's not sure about if he's going to get a new one. He's getting older. You know, the sort of the black gap around the corner is sort of looming, and he's not sure what's going to happen.
I play medical graduate / doctor Lynn Brennan. I'm on work placement in the Tour de France, and I kind of enter Dom's life and kind of join the man's world for a little bit.
Listen, Dr. Lynn Brennan, would you mind not telling anybody about this meeting, please? I just don't want the team to know.
On patient-doctor confidentiality prevents that, Mr.
Dom.
Mr. Dom.
Dominic Chabal.
Okay.
Hey, Keith, will you take my back?
Please, Doctor, just a few questions.
5 minutes, Doctor.
Yes. Any chance of an autograph?
This is the most grueling sporting event in the world.
You think you have a chance of winning? Should I put me money on you?
No, I'm a domestique. See that guy over there? That's Tartar. That's our lead rider. He's going to win. He's going to want to get his autograph. Okay.
He's a narcissistic, arrogant prick, and he's really a winner. He's born as a winner, and he's gonna die as a winner, I guess. And he's Italian. He's always busy with hiking with the director sportif to talk about, okay, what's the best plan to win this stage in the Tour de France, and he's competing a little bit with Dom Chabal with his help.
Kids are hungry. How you doing, Sonny? You good? So you smoking all the time again, eh?
Grazie.
All right, Son, you good?
Oh, Jesus. Who knocked the froth off his cappuccino?
Andiamo più veloce! Vai, vai, vai!
When we made The Racer, it was a co-production between Belgium, Ireland and Luxembourg. And working outside of your comfort zone is always a bit of a challenge. But actually, I couldn't think of a better film to do this with than The Racer. We shot the film, 50% of the film in Ireland and 50% of the film in Luxembourg. So the exteriors were done in Ireland and the interiors, for the most part, were done in Luxembourg.
I think the film is imbued with a real love of the sport. Again, there's almost a paradox there, because I think the film is full of a love of the sport, but you know, is aware of its foibles and is critical of its failings, particularly in terms of drug use.
Écoute, t'as envie, hein? C'est ton premier tour. Faut que tu connais ta place. On est ici pour Tartare. Lui, il va gagner les étapes, pas toi.
Ok.
Ok? Compris?
Oui, ça va.
Ouais.
Et je vais être clean, hein. Pas de dopage, pas de stéroïdes, j'ai rien pris et je suis là, hein. Je suis là dans l'équipe, donc je peux le faire, hein.
C'est bien, gamin.
Tara Lee plays one of the most important parts of the film. Firstly, she's the only woman in the story, but more importantly, she takes the audience by the hand and brings them on a journey through the the behind the scenes of the Tour de France, experiencing things that they never would have seen before, and certainly things that she'd never seen before and couldn't imagine going on. Tara also is this basically the only sane voice in the film. She makes complete sense when she criticises what Dom is doing to his body. She arguably makes him think differently about his life, which is a good thing.
To be honest, I read a lot about doping, and I filled in my bag before I went to this project. But right now, I realized it mostly when I did the scene, actually, when we were sitting on that bed, like doing the blood doping in the EPO, how sad it is and why should you do this? It's incredible, actually.
The Racer isn't based on a true story, however, it is likely that there are similarities to some people's experiences, some of the riders' experiences during that time in Ireland in '98. Some people might believe that Tartare Marino is based on the guy who won the Tour that year, Pantani, but actually that's not the case. The shooting of the Racer was a technical challenge. We had about, on occasion, 60 riders on bikes, and we wanted to try and shoot the film, shoot the racing sequences in particular, so they didn't just look like footage from the Tour de France at the time. I wanted to get amongst the peloton as they were riding and get up close and personal with Dom and Tartare and any other rider that was in the film. I wanted to see the sweat and feel the grit of what it's like to be a Tour de France rider. So we did this, 3 different techniques. The first one was probably the most important, was that we had a rig designed called the Tour de Sam. We ended up calling it the Tour de Sam, which was designed by our grip, Paul Sam. And that involved a camera on the end of a long scaffolding pole that was balanced in the back of a truck. So the camera could swoop down and in and out and go in and amongst and over the riders as they were cycling and get up quite close to them.
What's the turn? What's the turn?
We also used drones, obviously. There was a lot of drone shots. There are a lot of helicopter shots used at the time. There was used during the Tour de France. So sometimes we use these drones to emulate the helicopters of the day. But also we use them just to get more interesting angles and big landscape shots of the peloton as it went through the landscape. We also used cameras called Osmos, which were attached to the bikes, which are similar to GoPros, but they shoot at a higher resolution. So yeah, technically it was quite a challenge.
Sucking sprinter Tartare along in a slipstream, peeling off to let him sprint ahead in the final 200 meters.
I think we're very lucky to have Kieran. He's an amazing actor's director, and he has a very clear image of what he wants. And what we've noticed is that it helps really good that he tells me what he wants, and I go to the cyclist group because we're equals, we're peers, and in that sense, I just ask the guys to, like, listen up. You stand here, you ride there, and do this, and it's been working perfectly.
This movie has a broad audience because I can see people from, you know, young teenagers to 1,001 watching it. There's something for everyone in it.
Yeah, a quite wide public because you have the sport thing going on, so that attracts people, I guess. But also, you can identify with Dom Chabal if you believe in something, if you believe in a dream. So I think that's a connection to a bigger public.
I think the audience at the end of the film will have experienced quite a ride. It's an emotional and physical roller coaster of 3 days in Ireland. And I think by the end of it, I think they will walk away from the film thinking, like, it's hard to believe what cyclists put themselves through.
I hope that it'll amuse them, it'll distract them, it'll inform them, and they'll be taken on a really, really interesting journey of the story of one man as he tries to find his way in this world that gets tougher and tougher for him as he approaches the end of his cycling life.
May I take this opportunity to say what an honour it is to host the first Tour de France outside mainland Europe.
Dom is going to be riding in the Tour de France on Saturday.
You gonna win?
No, I'm a support rider. I use my energy for the lead rider to win.
Don't you ever want to win yourself?
Of course. But that's a dream.
I hear this is your last tour. Tough shit.
I need to know about next year. My contract.
You're nearly 39 years old. What do you want me to say?
The team needs your focus, nothing to distract you.
What's the worst that can happen?
If you don't take it, you won't win.
Now give me.
Why risk your life like that?
Everyone does it.
You're not even allowed to win. You're a loser. Professional loser.
Tour starts tomorrow, 10 a.m. After the ground depart, you're out of contract, free to go.
Without a bike, I'm nobody.
3,